and tries to look around, to shop around. Then you've got some yellow and orange boxes which represent mixes of two modalities. So what do we mean by this? It's so complicated for a company to access the market if they want to create economies of scale and export economies because of the distribution pattern. And many companies decide to focus their attention on their own country because the distribution networks are very costly. And many companies participating in this report told us so. That's why it's very hard to export these products. That would be one of the conclusions. The demand and supply are very fragmented, which means that these products are very specific, and there's no cluster that somehow would make a pool of those support technologies from the industrial point of view. And there's a need for some kind of standardized, certified supply, which does not exist. And I think that's a task where SEDAM can contribute a lot. And there's still a long way to go because certification is an aspect that, to my mind, for accessible environments is fundamentally important. There are different market niches, and in a moment of crisis, it sounds quite interesting, but it's not enough to just write on your catalog that that is a good product for people with disabilities. It has to be a really accessible product, so you have to keep working on it from the very beginning, which is not an easy task. And now, in order to finish up, let me just say that regarding standards and accessibility, there are some standards which were already mentioned, but I am very keen on this type of report by INGL. Many people tell me that it's already obsolete, but it's a nice first view about the type of standards available. Standards must guide you through this process, and we believe they are of the utmost significance. Now, in order to finish, regarding the environmental control systems, well, Miguel Ángel Valero this morning talked to you about smart buildings already, ubiquitous multi-mode systems. All of these technologies help us become less intrusive and have a more natural appearance so that they can be tailored to the specific person, because throughout their life that person will change, and of course they will have different degrees of sight or hearing. And also the introduction of sensors in a dwelling, which you might think it's a breakthrough to have robots in your home, but all of these options have to be assessed by society, by the elderly, and see whether they click with it. It seems that robots are more and more introduced in order to work within your own home.
Gracias, Francisco Javier.
Thank you, Francisco. Now on to the third speaker, Asunción Santa Maria. She has a PhD in telecommunications and engineering at the Polytechnic University of Madrid. She teaches at the High School for Telecommunications at the UPM, and she's the director of the Thematic Center called Cedrin as part of the same university. Whenever you're ready, Asunción, the floor is yours. I would like to thank ONCE Foundation and SEDAM for inviting us to this conference. I've got only 5 minutes, so I'll do my best to speed up and catch up with the delay. I work at the Thematic Center called INGL at the UPM. And one of the things we do there, or one of the fields we're most interested in as part of the thematics, is energy efficiency. We work with systems that help us use energy in a sustainable fashion in facilities and buildings, which is quite in fashion, as you may know. And it is important because 40% of energy consumption in the EU occurs in buildings. Therefore, the potential for savings is huge. How can we save power? We need to rationalize consumption without relinquishing our comfort. We are squandering a lot of energy the way we live. So what did we do at this setting? Actually, I'm not even showing the slide because I know that we are pressed for time. But we have developed a system for energy control in buildings and facilities adapted for people with disabilities or people with reduced mobility. Why did we decide to pursue this? There are several devices that can be connected and installed in a dwelling, and they allow you to control the lighting, the heating, and what we call the passive elements, curtains, blinds, so on and so forth. So we developed an application that has to be user-friendly based on a video game. Why? Because we have not been able to program even the VCR at home and when recording a movie in a different channel to the one we're seeing. Well, if we're not that technology savvy, let us imagine what we could do with this type of home control system. So I'm going to show you the screens of the application we developed, which can be also visualized in 3D. Or it can be shown on a conventional 2D screen. Let us focus on the accessibility. We developed a 3D model for the building where we want to cut down on energy consumption, so on the basis of the blueprints of the building. We have also made a model of the different materials, the lighting maps, so that we can have a more realistic view of the area. And the navigation system is very easy. You can use your mouse, just move around the mouse and your buttons, or through the cursor. So the user can go through the building. This is the hallway. So you don't need anything else, any special to control the system. You just move around. There's this little cursor, which you cannot see. You point it on one of the elements that can be controlled, and then it lights. It is lit. As you can see on the right, the lights are off, whereas on the left, they're red because they're on. And, well, aside from that, you can either turn off or on the light. You can dim it. It has to be very user-friendly, again. So you can see how you interact with the heating devices. On the right, the air conditioning is in red. As you can see, it has a red box. It's green on the left, which means it's on. And then you can turn it on or off. You can set the temperature with a sliding bar. You can turn it up or down, anything you want. Then you have the area of the building in which that specific room is located. So again, I wanted to show you the whole application so that you could see in real time. Unfortunately, like in any other video game, as if you were playing Wii or PSP, well, you just move around throughout the building, and then you just handle them, you manipulate them. This is a bi-directional system. If a person enters the building at a given moment and they turn any switch, then the user of that application can see in real time what has been done. So the product that we developed, we believe, is very useful to oversee, for instance, the energy consumption, the overall energy consumption in a building on site. Here's the interface of the blinds and how they open. I wanted to show you how all of the choices are offered, but I'm not going to take more of your time. And let me just move on to tell you something else. The final application has is communicating a gateway, a corridor from a specific home, a physical resident home. But again, it works both ways. You can either send those commands from the virtual to the real world or the other way around. Any change in the real world is reflected in the virtual reality. Everything's very intuitive. The user can use it in a very friendly manner, and it can be expanded. From the technological point of view, we already reached our goal, but we would like to know whether this is really useful. So our proposal to the ONCE Foundation or to anyone interested in the assessment of this product, we're telling you, please contact us and let's try to find out whether people might be interested in it, whether it might come in handy for you, and whether the energy used in a building can be curbed rather than with traditional methods. We believe it's interesting because there are new markets arising, new market opportunities in terms of energy spending. And actually, the energy manager position is already an increasing reality. That person who talks to the managers of the mall or the building, and that person watches over the energy consumption in the building. And basically, what they can offer is, from out of everything we save, I'll keep half of it, and then the other half is something you save. So it's a win-win situation. But of course, there's another, let's say, general advantage, which is to use less energy and to make a more sustainable world. And I think that's it. Let me finish by saying that the project has been given an award a month ago in Oviedo at the first Trilogic Congress. And of course, I'm available to any one of you if you need any demos, any tests, or any other collaboration possible. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Asunción.
Thank you, Asunción. Again, we're doing horrible with time. In theory, we should be finishing by 1:30. So I'm very grateful to the speakers and for all of you. We don't have time for questions, but the speakers will be around for some time. So if you have them, you can approach them individually right away. That's it. Thank you very much and see you this afternoon.